What's up guys, this is John, and in this video I'm going to show you how to test your stock faucet and pump and then install a Shurflo Faucet system into a late Vanagon full camper. If you want to skip installing the Shurflo and cut right to the hose installation, click the link on the screen now. If you don't need that info either and want to skip straight to the pump install, then click the link on the screen here. Check the description for quick links as well. The first thing you want to do is check this fuse at the base of the B-pillar behind the driver's seat. The next thing that we'll want to do is check the faucet and the switch inside of it to make sure it's clean and working properly. Remove the Phillips head screw at the top of the faucet and pull the faucet knob off. If the switch contacts on your faucet look like this, they definitely need a cleaning. Remove the screw that holds the wire to the body of the faucet and clean both of them with a wire brush. Repeat this at the screw, wire, and contact tab in the faucet knob. Be aware that the metal contact tab in the knob will often deteriorate over time, so be careful when removing it. Reassemble the switch contacts into the faucet and the knob to the faucet body. Be sure that when the knob is turned, the switch tab contacts the lower set screw. If your faucet is still inoperable, go to the rear cabinet and access the top of the water tank. Remove the lid and pull the pump out of the tank. In the cabinet next to the tank, you'll find the blue and brown wires from the pump going into a clear connector on the cabinet wall. Pull those wires from the connector and unthread them from the cabinet and the water tank, and lastly, unplug the water line from the pump. If you don't have a spare battery to bench test your pump, you can use an engine start battery and a small section of wire. Connect one end of a small section of wire to the positive battery post and the other end of that wire to the blue wire from the pump. Next, touch the brown wire from the pump to the negative post of the battery cable. When the pump is grounded to the battery, if it's still working, you should hear the pump motor engaging, and it will make a buzzing sound. If this is the case, but the faucet trigger doesn't pump when switched on, the wiring between the faucet and pump are likely damaged. If your pump doesn't react, it's likely bad and needs to be replaced. For this next section of the video, I'm going to walk you through the process of replacing your stock faucet with a Shurflo faucet and city water adapter, installing a new pump, and replacing your old water lines with new ones. One thing I like to do when working with the faucet is to remove the two screws from the lid prop and move the prop foot up one screw position and reinstall the foot. This will open the lid just enough to allow you access behind the faucet while still keeping itself propped open. Also remove the utensil drawer and forwardmost cabinet door. Start by removing the 3 screws around the base of the faucet. Then pull the faucet up and out of the sink counter to access the connections at the bottom. The wires from the faucet should go to a connector that looks like this and needs to be unplugged. The ones in this fan, however, were rewired using connectors and shrink tubing, which I'll just clip apart. Unscrew the clamp on the water line going to the faucet from the pump. Then, use a 19mm wrench to unthread the gray water line from the faucet that goes to the hookup box. Remove the faucet and leftover gasket from the counter and clean the area around it. Grab the adapter plate and install the new Shurflo faucet into the plate. If you're also installing new water hose, you can connect one end of the bulk hose to the faucet now. Feed the hose through the counter opening, apply a little silicone to the edge of the opening, and screw the adapter plate into place. Remove the cabinet shelf to gain better access under the sink. Use the supplied connectors and some shrink tubing to connect the faucet to the yellow wires from the pump. The orientation of the two wires is unimportant, as this faucet and pump aren't polarity sensitive. The adapter can be installed inline without being bolted down, but I'm going to use a large Adele clamp here to attach it to the back cabinet wall. It's important to make sure the flow is going in the right direction, indicated by the arrow on the side of the valve. Orient the valve so the arrow is pointing to the hose that will connect to the faucet. I mock up the hose to the adapter and cut it to length. Next, attach the hose from the faucet to the adapter using the provided clamp. You can now thread the gray city water line to the large brass fitting on the adapter and tighten it down. To replace the hoses, we'll start here below the faucet and cut the old hose from the connector. Grab your new hose and tape one end, as shown, to the old hose end. Be sure not to use too much tape on your connection so that there isn't too much buildup. The hose has two plastic rings that it passes through on the back side of the panel, and too much tape will cause it to not pass through these rings smoothly. Push the hose into the wall and gently pull the old hose until you have the new end in the cabinet next to the water tank. Hook the new hose onto the end of the adapter and pull the excess hose through to the cabinet, being sure to leave enough hose so that it keeps a nice curve and doesn't collapse. Remove the old hose from the tank's elbow fitting, pull the new hose the rest of the way through the tank cabinet, and cut it to the proper length. Use the included clamp and affix the new hose to the elbow. I use a razor knife to get the old hose off of the other side of the elbow pipe down inside the tank. Use this old hose to measure and cut a new section of hose and slip it onto the elbow fitting inside the tank. If you don't plan on replacing your pump, connect the new hose to the old pump now. If your vehicle has stock ear clamps, shown here, you can get the pliers we sell to cut them easily as shown, or you can use a large pair of cutting pliers to cut them off. Tape the end of the new hose to this hose just like we did before, and move outside of the vehicle. Remove the 4 screws from the aftmost hookup box and pull the box from the vehicle enough to access the hose connections. Loosen the clamp on the hose and remove it from the box connection and pull the hose through until the new hose appears. Remove the elbow connector from the old hose assembly, cut a new short length of hose, and reinstall the elbow and hose assembly to the hookup box. Moving back into the van, cut the remaining hose to length and connect the hose to the tank fitting. To replace the sink pump, grab the new pump and put it into the tank. Run the wires out of the hole in the tank through the grommet and finally seat the grommet into the opening in the tank. Run the wires through the opening between the cabinets. Unscrew the pump harness connector from the sidewall of the forward cabinet. Cut the yellow and black wires from the connector, strip the ends, and join them in new connectors with the wires coming from the new pump. Connect the new hose section to the output fitting of the new pump and check it for proper operation.